A new study commissioned by the NFL is adding to the fear football teams have long faced that some of those hard hits could be causing serious long-term consequences. This past Sunday, New York Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez walked away after getting roughed up by the Titans. But on the college level, Heisman Trophy winner Tim Tebow of Florida was hospitalized after suffering a concussion on Saturday night. The report finds that former NFL players have much higher than average rates of dementia and other memory-related diseases. How much higher? 19 times the average among men between the ages of 30 and 49 years old. Dr. Julian Bailes is a former team physician for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's conducted his own research on the subject. He's in Morgantown, West Virginia for us tonight, and in Philadelphia, journalist and sports analyst Stephen A. Smith. Doctor, let's start with you tonight. This incidence of brain function problems 19 times higher in people aged 30 to 49 than among the general population. This is data that the NFL really hadn't wanted to talk about.
Very possibly not. They have denied the existence of the fact that head injuries, concussions could lead to problems as one gets older. And this is their own research. They've said for years they're going to do it. They've done it, and now we've got to see how they respond.
And so, Steve, I take it that with this research, they can't go ahead and deny it anymore.
I don't think they can. I don't think they can deny it at all. And I'm willing to bet every dollar I've got that the National Football League's Players Association is not going to let them deny it either. Because right now, I just got off the phone with a couple of officials from the NBA Players Association, and what they're trying to do now is to try and link this study to see how relevant it is to the current retired players who've been making a lot of noise about the lack of support they've received, not just from the Players Association themselves, but from the NFL as a whole as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what takes place within the next weeks and months.
Dr. Bailes, you had, as we pointed out at the top, done your own research on this, going back to 2002. In fact, in 2007, at an NFL meeting, you presented similar findings. You said that you were basically ostracized by the people in the room. There were all kinds of eye rolls when you were presenting your data, even anger. Why did they treat you like that?
I'm not sure. You'd have to ask them. I think there was resistance. I think there has been a strong resistance. But hey, if they will come along now and recognize and accept their own studies, maybe we can move the argument beyond accepting this, and let's look now at prevention.
Steve, you said you know why they treated him like that?
Oh yeah, it's about the dollars, John. It's just that simple. The fact is that when you address the dollars, if you recognize this as being a viable issue, the way that it is being presented right now, this is something that could potentially cost the NFL money. And the reality is this: you don't want to cast aspersions on the league. You don't want to say that they don't care about human beings or anything like that. That would be irresponsible to go that far. But at the same time, you're talking about a league where players' contracts, for the most part, are simply not guaranteed. It's really about their signing bonuses. If you had guaranteed contracts, all of a sudden, the importance, the focus on making sure that you're alleviating these kind of problems take on a whole different dimension entirely, and that's something that's going to cost dollars and cents. And even for a league that makes billions upon billions of dollars, that's just something that they're a bit hesitant to address because it may end up affecting their bottom line. Welcome to America.
Let's take a look at the NFL response. The NFL has said, quote, the survey found that playing in the NFL was a very positive experience for most retired players, and that overall they are in very good physical and financial condition. Addressing specifically this issue of memory problems, the NFL said, quote, the survey did not diagnose dementia, but relied on self-reporting. It also noted that diseases of memory are rare in both the general population and NFL retirees. The survey makes no link between concussions and memory disorders. Doctor, what do you make of that?
Well, our study 4 years ago said there was a direct link that if you had 3 or more concussions during your career, that you had a 5 times increased risk of having cognitive problems when you retired. So I do think there's a link. It's almost common sense. But we have to get beyond that. We have to see what this and other studies can help us to improve, change the game. As I've said, let's take the head out of the game, for instance.
Well, what do you think, Steve? Is the NFL likely to change the game to protect the players?
I think that ultimately, if it becomes too much of a heated issue, they will have to, because they're very, very smart and adroit about doing what's in the best interest of their bottom line. So you can't take that away from them. But I'd also like to point out this. You've got a Dr. Ira Casson, the co-chairman of Concussions Committee, who's been the league's primary voice, denying any evidence of connecting this kind of stuff to the NFL. And this is the person that the NFL is going to have, according to reports, conduct their own rigorous study study of 120 retired players in the very near future. Don't you see a little bit of conflict of interest there?
Now, all right, gentlemen, we've got to leave it there. Obviously, we're going to hear a lot more about this. Steve Smith, Dr. Julian Bailes, great to have you on tonight. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you.